everyone, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Jacqueline and this is Low Carblish. You guys, I've got a treat for you today. We are going to be making a Mexican pizza. I don't know how many of you used to eat at a certain taco restaurant that shall remain nameless because of copyright stuff, but I used to eat there a lot when I was eating high carb, and they had this Mexican pizza that was one of my favorite things. And for some reason, last week, I was really craving that. So I was like, okay, how can I make this recipe low carb? And I had already picked up these Zero Carb tortillas. And this brand is Guerrero, but Mission also has these little tortillas, and they're small. And I will tell you that when you're going through the pack, they're going to be different sizes. Like some of them are smaller and some of them are bigger. But they're all zero carb. So I use these. If you've never tried them and you want to try them, please be sure to check your blood sugars to make sure they're not affecting your blood sugar. They don't affect mine, so I'm very grateful about that. But we're going to make a low carb version of Mexican pizza today. And don't worry about the ingredients and amounts because I'm going to have it all listed below. But I just wanted to show you we're using these tortillas. I'm making double what I usually make because Jenny, who's behind the camera today, is hungry and she wants one too. She loves these as well. So I'm going to make 2 of them today instead of 1. But when I put the recipe down below, I'll just make 1. And the ingredients and the serving will be for 1. And then if you need to double or triple the recipe, you can. So anyway, what we're putting in our Mexican pizza today, we're going to be using black soybeans. These are the only beans that I have found that I can eat that don't mess with my blood sugar. And 2/3 of a cup, is it 2/3 now? Let me look. No, it's half of a cup. There's 3.5 servings in it. Half of a cup of these beans has only got 5 net carbs. If you wanted to completely eliminate these, you can still do this with just the beef and the cheese, but these really do take it up a notch and make it taste like the one from the restaurant. So we've got 4 ounces of ground beef here that's already cooked. I've got a can of beef broth, which I'm going to be adding this to the beans to cook them in, and also the same amount of water. And then we're going to use a little bit of this when I put this in the mini food processor to zhuzh them up like refried beans. It's going to make them have more flavor. And so there goes my phone, y'all, sorry. And there is coconut oil here that I'm going to use to fry the tortillas in. We've got salsa verde to put on the top, and then I'm just using salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder that I've already got mixed up here, and cumin. And that's it, you guys, and this is going to be a super easy recipe. So let's. Okay, y'all, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the liquid, and sometimes it's gelatinized, and it is, the company that makes these black soybeans, one of the things that they use to preserve it in the can is seaweed. And once in a while you'll get one that's kind of gone gelatinous, and it's fine, it's not going to hurt a thing. But I rinse it off. I just prefer not to have it in the beans when I'm cooking them. So once I get the beans rinsed off really well, I'm going to sit them down here for a minute and let them drain off while I put the stuff in the stove. I wanted to tell y'all too, this brand is the only brand that I've been able to find in a can that's already done, and it's Eden. And it used to be I could not get these at my grocery store. My Ingles carries them now, but if you cannot find them at your grocery store, I can give you an Amazon link, and I also have bought them from Swanson before, so I'll put both of those links down in the description in case you can't find them at your local store. But they're really good, and for people like us that can't have carbs, it's a really good substitute. So let me put the beef broth in the pan over here, and I'm going to get some water, and we're going to add the same amount of water, and then we're going to put our beans in the pan. This is such a simple, easy recipe, and it's so filling and delicious. I really enjoy it. I'm just going to put the soybeans in the pan there, and let me get my spices out. So I've got cumin and garlic powder and onion powder, and y'all, I don't really measure the spices on this because If y'all ever heard that saying, I just add until the spirits of my great ancestors tell me to stop, that's kind of how I do with this recipe. I put a little bit of salt in here, and I put a little bit of pepper, and then I add probably about half of the cumin I've got in this thing, and I think I've got about a tablespoon of cumin. But like I said, you put in what you like and what tastes good to you. And mainly the reason I'm putting it in the beans now is because I want it to flavor this water, because it just helps when we use the water to turn the beans into more of a fried bean texture. The water having that flavor in it helps the beans taste better. So I'm going to put this back over here because we're going to have to zhuzh the beans up in a little while. And I've got coconut oil in here, and I told Jenny not to measure, just to put some coconut oil in the bowl here. And so I'm going to look and see. And again, this is, and that's probably enough, but we'll look and see after when it starts melting here, because you want enough to cover your tortillas, and you know, make sure that they fry up and get really nice and crispy. But I like using coconut oil because it's got a high burning point, and so it doesn't burn my stuff, and I get that nice golden brown color I'm looking for. But we are going to let this stuff heat up here. I should have heated this pan up before we got started, but I didn't think about it, y'all. So I appreciate y'all being patient with me while I wait for it to melt here. But this really does come together really quickly, and the beans would cook quicker if I turned them on. That might be helpful. Alright. And what we're doing with this is we're just going to bring them to a boil. We want to get them really hot through and through, and then I'm going to put them in my little mini food processor and zhuzh them up, and we'll be very close to being done as soon as all of this is ready. So I'm going to let this oil melt. I'm going to get my little food processor out, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, y'all, so my coconut oil is melted here, and it's getting pretty warm. You want to make sure that your oil is hot enough. Mine is not quite hot enough yet. When you tip the end of your tortilla in there, you want to see a few little bubbles going around, and that's going to let you know that your temperature is where it needs to be to get them fried up nice and crispy. And I'm telling y'all, this is good. I don't know what happens to me sometimes, and I start craving food that's like super unhealthy for me. And every time that happens, I try to make something that's very similar that tastes good and is not high carb. And this does a trick for me. And everybody I've fed it to so far likes it. I haven't fed it to a whole lot of people, but I think like 3 or 4 of my friends have had it, and they all liked it. Okay, so Jenny, you want to get a close up of this bubble thing? So what I'm looking for, guys, when I put the tortilla in the oil, see the little bubbles that are happening right there? That's when you know your oil's ready. And I just put in 2 at a time. And normally when I'm making this for myself, 2's all I use. But when I'm making it for more than me, I just put 2 at a time in. And we're going to let them cook on one side till they get a nice golden brown. And then we're going to let them turn them and flip them. And you may have to flip them a few times in order to get the color you're looking for, but that's okay too. I'm just going to stir our little beans up here because they're starting to boil on us, which is what I want. And, oh, I know what I could tell y'all about while we're waiting on this thing. They think they got all the armadillos, y'all. They caught 8 of them, and he pulled the traps, and he said he thinks he got everybody. If I see any more, to let him know. But thank Jesus, I haven't seen any more of them in the yard. And Miss Macy's shoulder's all healed up now, so she's doing great. And this week, we're going to start walking in the street with her little shoes. She is doing great with them in the backyard. She even ran with them, which is hysterically funny to watch. Also, if you're frying these and your little tortilla does what this one's doing right here with the big air bubble, just go in there and punch a hole, punch the air bubble down. It's not going to hurt a thing for you to punch it down, because the air bubbles will keep your tortilla from frying all the way it's supposed to. And we're just looking for a nice golden brown. Jenny likes hers a little bit darker than I like mine. I like it just like at a golden stage. Jenny likes hers a little bit more burnt, I guess. She says it's not burnt. It looks kind of burnt to me, but that's the way she likes it. And our beans are boiling away, so I'm going to turn them down there and just leave them in the hot broth for a few minutes while I'm finishing up these tortillas. And I'm going to turn this heat down a little bit because I'm getting some smoke here. And you do want to cook these until they get crispy, because that's what really gives your Mexican pizza that delicious crispy yumminess. Don't you like my description, y'all? But I'm not kidding y'all, these are good for real. They are good. Alright, so now I'm having trouble picking this one up. There we go. So that's what I'm going for on mine, that golden brown color. And like I said, I'm going to cook Jenny's just a little bit darker than that because she likes hers a little more well done. But she'll eat it no matter what because she likes it. It's good. But I try to make things like she likes them too. Because when we're feeding people, we want them to be happy with what we're feeding them. Isn't that right? Okay. So now I'm going to do this Jenny Bobini's tortillas here. And hers probably won't take quite as long because the oil's really hot now. And I'm actually going to pull these off the burner because they're still boiling, and I'll turn the burner off. And I want them to cool down just a smidge before I put them in the mini food processor. Y'all, do y'all ever crave anything from restaurants that you can't eat at anymore? If you do, put something in the comments so I know that I'm not the only one craving fast food sometimes, even though I can't have it. And it may even give me some ideas of things that I could make, you know, that we would all enjoy that I hadn't thought about making. So if y'all want to do that, feel free to help me out some. This one's being slow. I might turn the heat down too soon. My phone's making all kinds of noises today. I've turned it on airplane mode and it's still giving me notifications and everything else. I don't know what's going on with that. So I apologize if y'all can hear that. I do the best I can, but sometimes technology gets the best of me. And that's the truth. They're getting there. I just got a thumbs up. You being a quiet girl today?
Yep. Those look pretty.
Yeah, you like this brown? You want me to stop?
No, that looks perfect.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Alright, let me scooch these over so I can put yours on the drain thing too. I'm surprised you haven't stopped that early. Okay. Alright, y'all, so while those are cooling off right there, I'm going to get our beans in this little mini food processor here. And I'm going to, let's see, I think I'm going to use my pasta thing here to put them in here. Oh, I didn't take the lid off. Hold on, y'all, I got to get it together. Okay. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I wish we had smell-o-vision. This stuff smells so good. Alright, and so then I'm going to take my spoon and add just a little bit of the broth in here. And you may have to go back and add a little more as you go along, because it really depends on how, oh, there's a few more beans. It really depends on how you like your beans as far as how thin you want them to be. I like mine thin, but not too thin. So, and I'm gonna go in here and salt and pepper. And like I say, this is all to taste, you guys. You do what makes you happy. I like a lot of cumin, and Jenny does too, so I'm gonna put the rest of our cumin in here. And then the rest of the garlic and onion powder is going in. Well, almost all of it. Alright, and then, alright y'all, here we go. Okay, so I need to put just a little more broth in mine. Okay, one more time. Alright, I think we're done here. Yep, that's what I'm looking for, right there. Now, if you guys want to add a little bit of sour cream into this mixture, you can do that. You can also put a little bit of heavy whipping cream in here. I am not doing that today because I'm just really trying to keep the carbs as low as possible and the calories down. So I'm not going to do that today, but you can do that. So let me get a plate over here and get our tortillas. And we're going to get a tortilla made up here, get it in the microwave, because I'm going to remelt everything in the microwave as we go. And I need another spoon. Lord have mercy. Okay, so what I do, this is 4 ounces of cheese because, like I said, I'm making 2 today, but normally I would have 2 ounces of cheese here. And I take just a little bit of the cheese and put it on the bottom of the tortilla, and I'm really just doing that so everything will stick to the shell. And then I take about 1.5 ounces of ground beef and add that on next. And then I go in with the beans. And y'all, this makes a really good hearty meal. Jenny and I are going to enjoy our lunch today. And then I put a little more of the cheese here. Top it off with the second tortilla, and then put the rest of my cheese on top. And I'm using Colby Jack cheese on mine just because I love Colby Jack cheese, but you can use any kind of cheese that your little heart desires. Like I say, you do you, boo-boo. Alright, so, and I've got some falling off here, so I'm trying to get it off the edges. I'm going to have to wash my hand real quick. I got beans on my hand. Hang on just a second. Okay, so now we're just going to put this in the microwave for about a minute. And when we come back, it'll be ready and we'll be having a taste test. Okay, y'all, so we've got the pizza out of the microwave. I'm going to add a tablespoon of salsa verde to mine. This is totally optional, but I really enjoy the salsa verde, so that's what we're doing. And you can do 2 tablespoons of this salsa verde, and it's 1 net carb. Macy's in there pushing her treat button because she's ready to have some. She's so funny. Anyway, this is a fork and knife dish. You cannot eat this with your hands, but I don't even care because it's so good. Can y'all hear that little crunchy crunch? Those are those crispy tortillas, y'all. And I have to take little princess bites because I want to eat this whole thing. It's so good. Mmm. Let me get a drink. You guys, if you're looking for something very similar to that Mexican pizza, give this a try. You could also use regular salsa if you wanted to, and you could even dice up a couple of little, little cherry tomatoes or part of a slice of one and put it on top. I'm not doing that today just because I'm trying to keep everything low. But like I said, this meal right here, you're looking at 6 net carbs, 7 if you do the salsa verde, and that's for your whole meal. So I hope you will try it. I hope you enjoy it. I appreciate y'all coming to hang out with me today. I hope y'all know I love you so much, and I really, really appreciate all of you. I'll talk to you next time. Have a good day. Bye.